rock bottom. Ever since Jordin Sparks said "I do" to Dana Isaiah, she's been painting their marriage as being picture perfect. But we all know that there is no such thing as a perfect relationship, and this is no exception. Over the years, there have been some telltale signs that Dana might not be the flawless husband that Jordin has suggested he is. And after you hear about who the real Dana is, you're gonna question why they're even still together. Jordin wasn't known for having a great track record when it came to the men that she dated before her husband, and the online community hasn't forgotten that. Someone posted in a Lipstick Alley thread that Jordin seemed like a sweetheart, but she had questionable taste in men. And then they reminded people that she once dated Sage the Gemini and Jason Derulo. So when the news first came out that she was dating Dana, her fan base was a little skeptical. But the speculation of whether or not this new man in her life was really good for her only got more heated when it came out that they'd secretly got married after a few months, which was pretty weird for those of us on the outside. Because just before they met, Jordin had announced that she wasn't going to date for a while. She apparently wanted to be celibate and focus on self-love. In an interview with People, she shared that she'd gone through a crazy time in 2016, so she decided that she was going to stay single. And then, months later, this guy just showed up at her door. The public didn't know about the spontaneous wedding until 4 months later, when Jordin found out some news that completely shocked her. Just a few days after Dana moved to LA, the newlyweds discovered that they were expecting a baby. Jordin confessed to People that she immediately started bawling after finding out. While it's not super unusual for a celebrity to rush headfirst into a relationship, the reason that some people were concerned about it was because it doesn't always work out. It was clear from everything that she was saying to the press that Jordin was head over heels for her man. But what about Dana? What were his intentions? Something that seems to repeat itself in Hollywood is non-famous men marrying famous women and then using the relationship for their own benefit, whether that's fame, power, or money. So it was to be expected that people who cared about Jordin were questioning if that was the case with her. And there was one person in her life who was especially concerned. When she was pregnant, Jordin and her new husband starred in a Lifetime TV special. It came out in 2018 and was called Jordin Sparks, A Baby Story. It was thanks to that behind-the-scenes look that we got to see what Jordin's mom thought about the new man who'd suddenly swooped into their lives out of nowhere. And trust me when I say that she wasn't thrilled about her son-in-law, at least not around the time that the episode was shot. Madame Noir reported that at one point in the TV special, Jordin's mom, Jodi, called Dana into the kitchen to have a conversation with her, and it was clear that things were about to get heavy. She told him that they'd only had one proper conversation. She said, "Put yourself in my shoes for a second. This is my child who you rushed in, took her away from everything." Jodi went on to claim that she didn't know Dana, and all she was saying was that she didn't have her daughter anymore. Since she got pregnant, she'd supposedly been holed up in her home with Dana. She then scolded him by saying that he should be telling her that he was going to take care of Jordin and that he wouldn't ever let anything happen to her. According to Jodi, he had not reassured her, and when she didn't get that, she felt like she had nothing to go on. And then that apparently led to her thinking stuff like, who does he think he is? That's my kid and I get nothing? And you're honestly not going to believe how Dana responded to the mother of his new bride and the grandmother of his unborn child. Instead of apologizing or attempting to reassure her that he was going to look after her daughter, he turned things around on her instead. He claimed that the reason he didn't talk much with Jodi was because he didn't feel she truly welcomed him into the family. He said, "The same way my family has dove in and loved Jordin so hard hasn't been the same way reciprocated to me." Dana then explained that he had a really cold shoulder, so when he saw that, he moved on. He alleged that he just didn't care and asked why he would put all his effort into forming a relationship when he was getting nothing back from her. Jodi brought up how the last time he'd driven Jordin to her place, he couldn't even be bothered to actually come in and have a conversation with her. That was the moment when Dana decided he had enough of the conversation and just walked out of the room. I can totally see why Jodi was worried about her daughter. This guy just came into their lives out of nowhere and then supposedly began to cut her off from the people she was closest to. It's a story we've all heard a million times, and it just never works out well. Another red flag happened back in 2019 when Dana shared a picture online of him and his so-called friend out at a restaurant. He was with Mackenzie Royce, someone he claimed he'd been friends with for a while, and she had her arm around his neck. The photo didn't sit well with a lot of Jordin's followers and sparked some controversy. Jordin quickly commented on the photo and said, "Aw, I love you both. She's such a treasure." which to some online users looked like she was trying a bit too hard to show how cool she was with it. Dana tried to defend himself in the comments section by saying that a lot of people were in bad relationships because of women who didn't let their men have friends or a life. As you can guess, it didn't exactly do much to quiet down the online backlash of the picture. Dana definitely does seem to be quite a big overshadowing presence in Jordin's life, but does that make him a controlling person? Well, there are a few things that have happened which would suggest that he could be, and Jordin's online community has called him out for it. One Lipstick Alley user claimed that he'd kind of developed a reputation for being a leech. Others questioned what he did for a living. When outlets like People first began reporting on Jordin and Dana's love story, they claimed that he was pursuing a modeling career. But it doesn't look like anything ever really came of that. Around 2020, though, Dana coincidentally landed himself a pretty big gig. According to People, he became Jordin's A&R and management. When the outlet asked Jordin how that came about, she alleged it was because they both worked really well together, they both had their core values, and they loved each other. And that was it. She didn't get into his past experience or his skills or explain how she knew he would be good for her career, which, by the way, isn't doing too amazingly. An article by The List titled "Whatever Happened to Jordin Sparks" pointed out that ever since her second album came out, Jordin hasn't had much success in the music industry. It claimed that she may not be focused on music these days. But at the same time, in a report by OK Magazine, Jordin stated that she didn't want to have any more kids because she had to balance her career and her family. So clearly, her professional life is still important to her. But under her new management, it doesn't seem like she's making a comeback. What is happening is that Dana has taken control of her social media accounts and her public email account per People. And he's even started appearing in her music videos. For her 2023 single, Call My Name, Dana starred opposite his wife as her love interest in the music video. And guess who also got himself a producer credit? That's right, Mr. Jordin Sparks himself. So I don't think it'd be crazy to say that Dana might have wanted a taste of fame, and he knew how he could get it. People also reported that Jordin got her husband's name tattooed on her leg in 2023 for her 34th birthday. She posted about it on Instagram and was immediately met with tons of comments from people who thought that it was a terrible idea to get something permanent like that. Dana reportedly chimed in, though, with an Instagram story where he showed his tattoo of her name and claimed that he'd had it for 5 years and people shouldn't judge them. I don't know. On the one hand, it does seem like Jordin is happy. But on the other hand, this guy did seep into every part of her life and has a lot of control and power over her. So we can only hope that his intentions with her are pure and that Jordin doesn't wake up one day to find that she'd ignored lots of red flags and had made a huge mistake. But what do you guys think? Was Jordin's mom onto something when she accused Dana of whisking her daughter away and cutting her off from the people around her? Do you think that he has too much control of her personal and professional life now?